In the aviation industry, safety always comes first. But in an emergency, are we as prepared as we could be? Every day an aircraft emergency occurs due to cockpit smoke.
Okay, we have smoke.
The autopilot has failed and we are down to standby.
Aircraft have been lost due to the pilot's inability to see because of in-flight smoke, turning routine emergencies into deadly accidents.
I can't see the instruments.
Disasters like these can be prevented with EVAS, the Emergency Vision Assurance System, a simple and affordable device that allows pilots to see their instruments and outside of the aircraft, even in the event of dense and continuous smoke.
EVAS deployed. Runways in sight.
With EVAS, what could be a major catastrophe becomes a successful emergency landing.
We are on the ILS on speed.
Inspired in part by the FAA's suggestion that in-flight smoke was a problem that needed to be addressed, EVAS was invented in 1989.
My partner and I went down to Texas, got into a Hawker jet airplane, and we had a smoke demo. He was sitting within 6 inches of me, and I couldn't see him. We were completely in the dark in the flight deck. And the second part of the demonstration is where they deploy the system, and it gave us back our world.
What it allows the pilots to do is to be able to have a clear field of vision to the instruments regardless of how thick or how long smoke is entering the cockpit. So it means they can fly because they can see.
Without the ability to see the instruments or onto the horizon, a pilot's ability to orient himself in space or spatial awareness can be lost.
All pilots, when faced with a loss of spatial awareness, eventually lose control of the aircraft. You simply cannot depend upon human senses without visual references, either instruments or outside the aircraft, to maintain straight level flight.
According to a Boeing study of commercial aircraft, in-flight smoke is the #4 cause of airplane accident fatalities and loss of aircraft.
If we were to look at accident history, we find that dozens of accidents have occurred where smoke is a primary or casual cause. The death toll is over 1,000. With the EVAS equipment on those aircraft, the pilots would have been able to positively control the situation and in all likelihood would have been able to save the aircraft.
Experts say that as aircraft age, the threat of in-flight smoke and fire will only increase due to flammable materials such as older electrical wiring and built-up debris.
We are going to have incidents of in-flight smoke and fire. When you look at the statistics, we're not going to be able to eliminate the fire sources. The only thing we can do is to mitigate the condition. The technology of EVAS is one layer of the mitigation.
On military aircraft as well, hundreds of emergencies are declared because of cockpit smoke or fumes.
EVAS completes that safety loop, if you will, to assure clarity of the pilot's vision in the instance of continuous smoke in a cockpit.
With the threat of in-flight smoke and fire from inside the aircraft, also comes the threat of fire from outside.
One could argue that the threat is there for civilian aircraft as well. Military aircraft can be fired upon. We've had 3 instances at Baghdad International Airport since we've been in Iraq. We've had 3 aircraft successfully acquired and hit by anti-aircraft shoulder-fired missiles.
While the threat of terrorism is at an all-time high, EVAS mitigates the possibility of disaster.
Once an aircraft leaves the ground, it's completely sealed. And so any event that goes on, the solution to that event has to come from within the airplane. So a terrorist or a group of people that were so determined to cause harm to an airplane can in fact create a major in-flight smoke event. It's happened at least twice previously, and in both cases the airplane was lost due to the inability of the pilots to see adequately.
The emotional and economic cost of losing one aircraft far outweighs that of equipping an entire fleet with the EVAS system.
If you look at the potential to save lives on a dollar-for-dollar basis, this is probably one of the cheapest pieces of equipment you can buy. On a typical airliner, it is less expensive to equip the aircraft with EVAS than it is with life rafts. And I can't remember a time when life rafts were used on an aircraft.
Now not only approved by the FAA, but installed on FAA aircraft, EVAS is setting new standards for safety.
There have been a number of tests over the years, various means of eliminating smoke from the flight deck, and none of them are foolproof. EVAS is the only FAA-certified device that positively protects the flight deck from dense continuous smoke.
Today, over 2,000 EVAS systems are in service worldwide, and experts say it's only a matter of time before EVAS becomes a required standard for all of aviation.
Pilots become test pilots in conditions of dense continuous smoke in the flight deck, and it's our goal to see that all flight decks are protected from that threat.
If I'm going to fly on an aircraft where I've got my children or my spouse flying on the aircraft, I'd like to see it equipped with EVAS.
Be prepared with EVAS.